Welcome back. Let's continue with our talks on the early roots, the early pagan and historical roots of Proto-Islam. This is an old map. Old maps were not Google Maps. You can see the scale on this map is all wrong. It's clearly not a modern map. It's still recognizably a map, and we can still more or less identify things that are recognizable to us today, but yeah, we can see there are a few small issues here. Back in the day, these maps used a completely different set of coordinates than we have today. They didn't have standardized coordinates. Anything below Egypt was often just called Ethiopia. So this is Ethiopia below Egypt. What is interesting here that near the area of Mecca, you have the Sabaei. The Sabaei are the Yemenis. These are the Sabaeans, the worshippers of Al-Makka, the moon god. Don't forget their religion was a copy of the Babylonian worship of the moon god Makkah, or the moon god Sin. He had many names, but of course they called him Makkah. Now, of course, we know from Maimonides that Abraham originally was a Sabaean, which means that he was a worshipper of the moon god Makkah. Interestingly, we have the Saracens up here, the Saraceni. So these are two separate groups. The Saracens are what Muslims were known as at one time. Let's have a quick look at this word Saracen. Let me bring up some notes. And this is the modern Baphomet symbol. Modern scholars agree that the name of Baphomet was an old French corruption of the name Mahomet. That's, of course, the Muhammad we all know and love, with the interpretation being that some of the Templars, through their long military occupation of the Outremer, had begun incorporating Islamic ideas into their belief system, and that this was seen and documented by the Inquisitors as heresy. In the Chanson de Simon Pou, written before 1235, a Saracen or Islamic idol is called Baphomet. A chronicler of the First Crusade, Raymond of Aguilla, called mosques Bafumarias. Peter Partner states in his 1987 book, The Knights Templar and Their Myth, in the trial of the Templars, one of their main charges was their supposed worship of a heathen idol known as a Baphomet, Baphomet being Muhammad. Let's have a look at this Saracen word. This is the Critique of Islam by St. John of Damascus. He says here, they are also called Saracens, which is derived from Saras Kenoi, or the destitute of Sarah, because of what Hagar said to the angel, Sarah hath sent me away destitute. These used to be idolaters, and they worshipped the morning star and Aphrodite Alilat, whom in their own language they called Khaybar. I've been to, my friend used to call it Khubr. So I've been there a couple of times, which means great, kabirun, great in size or dignity, apparently. Sussman also says that they were descended from Hagar, but called themselves descendants of Sarah to hide their servile origin. That's in Ecclesiastical History 638, and yeah, that's the reference. The website for this link is orthodoxinfo.com, general/stjohn_islam.aspx. All right, back to our regularly scheduled show.